Welcome back to the session on Introduction to MATLAB. In the earlier session, we have gone through the website of MATLAB and how do you register for the MATLAB on-ramp training program. And we have also gone through one simple session wherein we saw the calculator mode of MATLAB doing basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Now we will continue with the program and we'll go to the second session of this and we'll see what more things can be done using this. Okay, so moving ahead, now we are into section 2 of this, and let us see this task. Task 1, it says you can name your MATLAB variables anything you would like as long as they start with a letter and contain only letters, numbers and underscores, right? Also remember, MATLAB variables are case sensitive. Okay, so that means if you have a MATLAB variable small a and a MATLAB variable cap A, both are different for MATLAB, so they are case sensitive. Second thing, you cannot start a MATLAB variable name with a number, okay, or a special character. And the MATLAB variable names can contain letters, numbers and underscores. No other special characters are allowed. So this has to be kept in mind while naming the MATLAB variables. Now let us do the first task. It is asking us to assign the value -2 to the variable capital A. So I'll simply write capital A, I'll use equal to and I'll write -2. Okay, and I'll press enter. If I put a semicolon at the end, it will not be displayed on the output. If I do not press the semicolon, it will be displayed on the output. Okay, so let us press enter and see. So yes, so you get this A equal to -2 and the console tells us that our solution is correct. Okay, also observe the workspace on the right hand side. In the workspace you have capital A as -2, right? So this is how you can do it. Let us continue further. Now second task. What is the second task? On the left hand side you say this. Notice that the variable small a and capital A both exist in the workspace. Okay, so you have capital A as -2 and the small case letter A as 8. You can name all your variables A or X, but it is more useful to name your variables something meaningful. For example, we are asked to assign the result to the variable AVG capital A small a. Okay, so you can so what is to be calculated is not mentioned here. So let us go through the I think they are asking us to calculate the average of both the variables. So, and we want to assign that to the variable this AVG capital A small a, right? So how will you do that? So we'll have new variable which is AVG AA equal to, okay, capital A plus small a divided by 2. This will give me the average of both. So I've used parenthesis here. So the simple rules of mathematics apply here, the BODMAS rule. Accordingly, I have simply created the parenthesis. I'll press enter. Okay. And let us say yes, our answer is correct. So the new variable which is created, we have named it as average capital A small a equal to 3. So the point we want to make in here is that the variable names should be meaningful, so that just by looking at the variable names we should be able to understand what exactly it is trying to tell us. Okay, so this is the second task which is completed. Okay, further practice. It is asking us, if you use an invalid variable name, MATLAB will display a suggested correction. You can use this command, modify it, or press escape to delete the suggestion. For example, let us try creating a variable name 3SQ equal to 9, right? 3SQ equal to 9. As told to you earlier, MATLAB variable names cannot start with a number, right? So in this case it is starting with a number, so this is an invalid variable name. So how MATLAB will handle this? So just try giving it. I'll press enter. Okay, and the MATLAB will tell me error, invalid expression, check for missing multiplication operator, etc., etc. Okay, so this is invalid expression, and it is also giving us a hint. Did you mean SQ equal to 9? So it is up to you whether you want to keep this variable name or some other variable name, right? So this is how it works. So just the takeaway from this simple naming variable session is that MATLAB variables can have letters, numbers and underscores, and it has to start with a letter only. It can be a capital case letter or a small case letter. Second thing, capital case letter and small case letters are two different variables in MATLAB. So capital A and small a are different things, and MATLAB is a case sensitive language, so the variable names are also case sensitive. This much you have to remember in this, right? Okay, great. Let us move ahead in the next section, which is saving and loading variables. All right, we are in section 2.3 now, and we want to do this task. You can save variables in your workspace to a MATLAB specific file format, which is called as a mat file, using the save command. So imagine that you have written a MATLAB program for doing certain task, and after running the program you got the result. Now you want to do some more experimentation and change the values, but at the same time you are also interested in saving this result just to refer to it in the future. So what should you do? You should save this particular file somewhere safely. So for that, MATLAB has a tool, a simple command, which is save command, right, which will save the existing workspace variable into a file, right? So what is the command? So for example, to save workspace to a mat file named filename.mat, use the command save file name. Okay, so in this case we have some variable data in the workspace. So if I double click this data, you can see there is it's a 7x4 matrix and it has a lot of data in it. Okay, these are some numbers which are in this variable. I told you earlier also that in MATLAB everything is a matrix. So this data may be an image, this data may be a sound clip, this data may be an actual matrix, but it is stored in a matrix form. Now I want to save this matrix in a particular file, okay, and I want to name that file as data file. So I will use the command save. It will tell the MATLAB that you have to save the variable which is in the workspace. Right now there is only one variable, so only one variable will be saved. Suppose there are 10 variables, all these 10 variables will be saved depending on the number of variables, okay, and I want to name that file as data file, okay, dot, that's all. I need not specify dot mat, because what is the format? Save file name, and I press enter. Okay, so what it says? Correct. So our answer is correct. Okay, and this particular file is now saved. This particular variable data is now saved in a data file, okay, in a file named as datafile.mat. And in future, if I want to retrieve this file, I can call this file again and I can use the variables, right? Okay, let us go to the next task. Okay, so okay, because I did not press space here, so I'll press the space. All right, task 2. When you switch to a new problem in MATLAB, you might want to tidy up your workspace. So tidy up your workspace means what? Workspace is common to MATLAB. You may write 100 programs in MATLAB, but every time when you write a program, it refers to the workspace for the name of the variables. So for example, in one program you have written x equal to 10, another program you are writing x equal to 5. So depending on what is there in the current workspace, it will take that variable name. So it is better to clear the workspace, clear the garbage before moving on to next program. So for that there is a command called as clear, C-L-E-A-R. Remember in the earlier session I spoke to you about a command CLC. CLC is for clearing the screen. It just clears the clutter that you are seeing on the screen. But if you want to clear the brain of it, That means if you want to clear the workspace, then you have to use the simple clear command, right? So let us use this command. I'll simply type clear and I'll press enter. Have a look on this right hand side workspace. Okay, as soon as I press clear, see, this has vanished, data file has gone, so there is nothing in workspace now. Now let's move on to the next task. What is the next task? In the workspace, you can see that clear has removed all the variables. Now we can load the variables from a mat file using the load command. So remember, in the task 1 we have saved our variable in a mat file. What was the name of that mat file? It was data file. Now we can retrieve that by using the load command. So I can use load data file, press enter, and you look at the workspace, right? So you got the variable again in your workspace. Okay, so whatever variable we had cleared, now it has come again because it has been already saved. So this is a very useful command when you are doing some kind of experimentation and you are having so many variables which you can't keep track always. So just save them in different files, and whenever you require, load them back and use them. Great. I hope that you are following what we are doing right now. Okay, now moving on to the next task, which says displaying the contents of the variable. Okay, now it's very simple. We spoke about this in the earlier session also. If you want to see what is inside a variable, simply type that variable name and it will display the output. So I know that there is a variable named as data. So what is inside this? I'll simply type data, okay, and I'll press enter. So what it will do, it will show me the entire matrix, right? So this is what you can do for any variable. So you have any variable, just type its name, it will show the output. In the output, it will show what is contained inside that variable. So I think this is very simple for you to understand. Okay, moving on. The clear function, task 5, the clear function cleans up the workspace. You can use the CLC command to clean up the command window. We have already discussed about the CLC command. So whatever you are seeing on the screen, all this clutter, task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4 data, I don't want to see all this clutter, so I'll simply type CLC. It will clear the screen. But remember, it will not clear the workspace. Just focus on the workspace and on the screen, right? So when I type CLC and press enter, the screen is cleared, but the workspace is not. Okay, so remember the difference between the CLC and the clear command, right? So further practice, you can do this. When you close MATLAB, the workspace will be cleared. Whenever we close the MATLAB, so for example, when I close this session and I log out of this, that time workspace will be cleared. Okay, but then if you want to use this workspace later on, you can save them and you can load them later on, right? So this is what we have seen in this particular section 2.3. How can you save and load the variables, how the variables are named, etc. I hope you are following me. This is very simple to understand, but it is very important to keep track of this, because these small tips will be very useful when you write larger programs. Moving on to the next section. So the next section is about using built-in functions and constants. Remember, MATLAB is matrix laboratory, and the utility of MATLAB as an engineering programming language is because of its inbuilt functions and the functionalities which are already there. So as a C programmer, suppose you want to multiply two matrices. As a C programmer, you will have to write all these code for writing an array, declaring the variables, and doing all this nonsense. For an engineer, that will be a difficult task every time to write the code from scratch. But if you want to focus on research and you want the hard work to be done by MATLAB, that's why MATLAB is so popular. Okay, that it has such strong libraries which can does almost everything in mathematics, matrix operations, and otherwise as well. Okay, so let us get a glimpse of it. There are some built-in constants in MATLAB, such as pi. So you know pi is 22/7. So the letter pi is a result keyword in MATLAB. Okay, and it is 3.1416. Although only 4 decimal places are shown, but it is represented internally with a greater precision. Okay, so let us create the value, create a variable x with a value of, I think it wants to say pi. So let me say x equal to pi and I will press enter, right? But I think question is not clear here. Create a variable called x with a value of dot. So I think the question is not clear. Anyway, let us try it again. So it is asking me to use something, the forward slash. Okay, I figured it out. So what it is wanting us to do is, it wants to create a variable called x with a value of pi by 2. So what I will do is, I'll write x equal to pi slash 2. Okay, x equal to pi by 2. So that is 1.5708 and it is saying is correct. Alright. Similarly, MATLAB contains a wide variety of built-in functions such as ABS. ABS stands for absolute value, and EIG. It calculates the eigenvalues. Okay, and it uses parentheses to pass inputs to functions. For example, to calculate the sine, a sine function is there, cos, tan. Okay, sine, cos, tan, tan inverse. All these trigonometric functions, all matrix functions are already internally written in MATLAB. So you need not write their codes for on your own. So let us do this task. Use the sine function to calculate the sine of x. Assign the result to a variable named as y. Okay, so we already have this variable x in the workspace, and now I want to calculate the sine of it and assign it to y. So how should I do? I should first calculate sine x. So how I will calculate sine x? I'll use sin in bracket x. Now whatever value is coming, I want to assign this to variable y. So I will write y equal to sine x and I'll press enter. Right? Correct. So this is how we got it. Y is equal to sine x. Let us go to the next task. The next task is use the square root function to calculate the square root of -9 and assign the result to a variable named z. So what is this sqrt function? Again, sqrt is an inbuilt function. Okay, so let us clear the clutter first. Lot of clutter is there. So I'll use clc command. Okay, it is telling me escape, try again, no problem, we'll try it again. So I want to calculate the square root. So there is a function, inbuilt function sqrt. I'll use a parenthesis, I'll write -9 and I'll assign this result to a variable named as z. I'll write z is equal to sqrt -9. Let us see what happens. Right, great. So I got the answer. You know that under root of -9 will be imaginary number. It will be plus minus, it should be 3i. Now MATLAB has these complex variables inbuilt, so you need not specify or tell MATLAB that the output of this result will be a complex number or a imaginary number, etc. It will automatically handle that for you. That is the functionality and beauty of MATLAB, which helps you do many of the tasks easily, right? So you got this z is equal to 0 plus 3i and it is assigned and it is also available in the workspace. Okay, let us continue this. Right. Note that the solution contains imaginary number I, which is a built-in constant in MATLAB. Only the first 4 decimal places are displayed in the command window. You can control the display precision using format function. Try entering format long, then try displaying the value of x. So you see only 3.12340 zeros are. What if I want to see the more decimals? So I can use this command format long, press enter. Okay, and this will format it for longer precision, and I'll press X. See, the X value was sorry, I should have pressed Z. Okay, I'll press Z. So you see, now it is showing me so many zeros. Earlier it was only showing 4 zeros. I can also try looking at the value of pi. See, earlier it was only showing 4 decimal numbers, now it is showing so many. So the format long is this. Once again, let us switch back to format short because I don't want to see so many numbers here. I'll come back to format short and I will write Z. Okay, so we are back to our condensed format, which is good for our eyes, right? So I hope you have understood. the use of built-in function and constants. There are so many built-in function and constants which is difficult for anyone to cover in one session, but it is very intuitive and easy to know. So for example, if you want to find the tan inverse, so for tan inverse the command is atan. If you want to find the cosine function, so for that it is cos, that's all. Okay, so whatever standard mathematical terms are there, these terms are also used in MATLAB. So you will feel as if you are reading your standard textbook while working with MATLAB. Let's go to the next section. Okay, so we are done with section 2. So 2.4 we are done, and the next section is on MATLAB desktop and editor. Okay, so I think we shall cover this in the next video. We'll stop our discussion today here only, and you practice up to this point. Thank you so much.
When you start